I'm Rebecca Liebman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of LearnLux. We are a workplace financial well-being company. And today I am excited to introduce one of our newest certified financial planners, Sabrina. Sabrina, tell us a little about yourself and your CFP career so far and what brought you to LearnLux.
So my journey has been an interesting one. My family didn't talk about money when I was growing up. Dad managed the finances while mom managed our home life. She's 15 years younger than my dad, so I knew she would likely survive him and need trusted guidance when that time came. So I made it my business to learn about money. I started out as a teller, then a licensed banker offering annuities, insurance, and mutual funds. I then went into private banking, where I specialized in a broad range of investments and consumer and business loans. In the years leading up to the financial crisis, I remember watching my clients have their loans called and variable interest rates increased. I saw how this affected their account balances and their ability to cover daily obligations. That's basically when I knew I wanted to be more than just a banker. I really wanted to help people make holistic financial decisions. So I became a CFP in 2008 and joined a private firm where I helped clients with investments, cash flow, education, retirement, tax, insurance, and estate planning. It was a scary time to jump into asset management, but it was an invaluable learning opportunity. I then went on to work in the ultra high net worth space with clients worth 5 million to upwards of 40 million. Now, while that was interesting work, it was far removed from my passion of helping everyday people transform their everyday lives. So a few years ago, I decided to take a step back and explore something new. I did a rotational program with the human resources department of a fintech company. But out of all the things I observed, the most intriguing was how many employees simply did not understand the benefits that were available to them. So, this highlighted for me that while many companies offer a robust benefits package, employees often need guidance in making their elections to maximize those benefits. Otherwise, it's a wasted expense for the employer and an undervalued benefit to the employee, which does absolutely nothing for the intended purpose of retaining and rewarding talent. So that's when I realized I could help both sides win by consulting employees on their benefits packages based on their financial goals and circumstances.
Amazing. And that's something that I find really interesting. You have this experience in holistic financial planning, but then you also worked in HR, which is who we work with, on a daily basis. So from your time in HR, what did you learn about this industry of financial wellness and benefits?
That was interesting too, because of course I did have exposure to some of the questions that we received from our employees, but I also had the benefit of just talking with employees and really hearing their stories. And as a very specific example was that the company offered a stock option program, but most of the employees who were eligible didn't really understand that program. And so instead of it feeling like a benefit, it required a lot of education. That was a kind of a waste for the organization. So I realized that was an opportunity to be able to marry the two worlds of consulting and financial planning and helping employees make the best decisions for themselves, as well as helping the employers maximize their benefits.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. And you're not just a financial advisor, you're a certified financial planner. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that means and what were kind of the challenges to accomplish that?
Well, I already had a bachelor's degree, which is a prerequisite of becoming a CFP. But I also had to complete a rigorous 1 year financial planning program at a local university before being eligible to even sit for the CFP exam. So, after successfully completing the program and passing the exam, I still had to fulfill the final requirement of 2 to 3 years of specific work experience. Now, that may not sound like a big deal, but historically, the world of finance has not been the easiest for women and people of color to navigate, which can be somewhat of a barrier to entry. So, with no comprehensive planning background, it was challenging finding a job that would give me the experience I needed. But eventually I did, and I'm incredibly grateful for the phenomenal men and women who did open those doors for me.
Yeah, that's amazing. Tell us why you chose LearnLux for the next chapter of your career.
Well, for me, the irony of financial planning has always been that the people who need it most can afford it the least. So the national wealth gap just continues to climb. That's something that always nagged at me because I knew I was actually contributing to that ever increasing gap. So I chose LearnLux because of our joint mission to make financial wellness a priority for all. By working with the employees of our clients and helping to grow our digital and live service offerings, my community impact can be significantly magnified.
Tell us about the first big purchase you made with your own money.
Well, I guess this isn't a great saving story, but it is a lesson in discipline. I suffered a major injury in college for which I received a small settlement. At that age, I could think of a million ways to enjoy it, but I chose to purchase my first home. It was a condo, and I was not yet working full time, so it was of utmost importance for me to be responsible in my budgeting. I made some mistakes, but I learned a lot, and that investment served me very well for nearly 15 years before selling it.
If you had to give your kids just one piece of financial guidance to ensure their future financial well being, what would it be?
My one greatest piece of advice to my kids would be not to get a credit card until you have steady income and can successfully stick to a budget that includes paying yourself 10%.
Love that. What's a secret talent you have?
Ah, my secret talent would be dancing. I was the captain and choreographer of my dance team in high school. I love dancing so much that it was actually a requirement for any guy I dated. That was one way my husband stole my heart on our first date. He danced with me all night. We actually performed a choreographed routine at our wedding reception that included salsa, merengue, and even the Charleston with a few lifts and dips. So anyone who hadn't met him yet at that time knew exactly why I married him, in addition to him being an awesome guy, of course.
Okay, fun question here. True or false? Money can't buy happiness.
Oh, that is so true. I have met plenty of miserable millionaires in my lifetime, unfortunately. But that is one of the many reasons I remain true to myself and I honor my heart's desires at all times. Money attracts a lot of people and things. So when you're in possession of a lot of it, you really have to be discerning about who and what you welcome into your world.
What celebrity would you want to take on as a financial advising client and why?
That I would have to say Andre 3000. I absolutely love Andre 3000. His song Hey Ya, it was well received as a dance hit, but he was really calling us all out for not caring about what musicians actually have to say, which was incredibly clever. As a classically trained pianist and an introverted thinker myself, his music and life story has always resonated with me. I admire his ability to manifest the evolving creations in his mind, and I empathize with his internal struggle. He's such a creative genius that he often can't fulfill his own expectations, which, from interviews I've heard, deters him from creating at all. I know people like this, and I've learned that, like money, when you possess extraordinary talents, it's incredibly important to keep the right energy around you, especially when it comes to who advises you financially.
On the same theme, since you like dancing and music so much, what song best describes your relationship with your own personal finances?
Well, I look at my personal finances the same way I do the finances of the people I serve. We've been so conditioned to value ourselves based on our net worth that many people lose sight of their value as a human being. There's a song by Beyonce and several other artists called My Power. So I guess I would say that song best describes my relationship with money. For me, this song drives a valuable message that we all have power that we must own for ourselves. We can't allow money, or anything else for that matter, to drive us. Instead, we each must stand in our own power and remain true to ourselves. That's really the only way to create a life where your money serves you instead of the other way around.
So imagine we finish this interview and your phone rings and you learn that you just won $10 million, no strings attached. What would you do?
Interesting question. I would open a community entertainment center for people of all ages to explore and share their musical talents. It would be complete with an audio recording room, dance room, outdoor performance space, and of course, there would have to be a LearnLux lab with a few computers available for free public use so that we could offer complimentary services to the community, which would actually be hands-on experience. But it would be absolutely amazing to live my dream in that way while being able to jumpstart the dreams of countless others.
Thanks so much for going through these questions with me today. I'm so excited to have you on the team.
Thanks so much, Rebecca. I am glad to have the opportunity to transform everyday lives of everyday people.